Hello, family and friends. How is everybody doing today?
Good to see you all again.
Hope you all had a blessed weekend. We had an okay weekend. Yesterday was kind of on the quiet side, but it wasn't bad.
But at least it was a good rest from celebrating our anniversary the other night, which, needless to say, went very well with our friends. And already we missed them, but we know we'll see them again soon.
Yeah. Okay. So today's video will be not, I guess, maybe the most interesting and not the least interesting, because I'm want to be honest. And I would like to talk to you guys about what I'm dealing with. And if you don't see the video for quite some time, and let's say there's like a few days will go by and there's no video, you will know why. Okay, so for the past 3 years, I've been battling an autoimmune disease. It's a rare autoimmune disease called scleroderma. You know what it means is like sclero means hard, derma means skin. It's overproduction of collagen, which is like a protein in your skin, and my body is overproducing it. Causes me right now unable to use my hands. I can't walk long distances. Out of breath. It's completely fucked up, pardon my French, my GI system. I have constant indigestion and heartburn and nausea. Breathing is difficult, so I'm living day to day, and it's hard to deal with it, but I'm pretty much surviving it. On top of that, I am type 2 diabetic, and it was a horrible ordeal last year where I'm gonna allow my husband Chris to talk about what happened to me last January, because I don't remember much,
Thank
because
you,
I was
Inga.
in a very altered state of mind.
What happened was here, Inga was given a steroid from a former neurologist who she no longer sees, and this doctor failed
For migraines,
for
because I'm
migraines.
dealing, also I have migraines, and they tend to be a very bad migraines.
So in any event, what happened was he gave her the steroid, didn't even mention it was a steroid, and it led Inga into a diabetic coma. And see, you saw the doctor on a Wednesday, and we were taking the meds quite well.
Since Wednesday, yeah.
Come that Saturday, I started to notice something was wrong, and first thing Sunday morning, Inga slipped into a diabetic
But
coma.
prior to that, the whole week I was not well. I was thirsty, because also I was taking an asthma pump, because I'm also asthmatic on top of that. And the asthma pump had also a steroid. And I think between that, that also rose up my sugar. And I was like constantly thirsty and had to go to the bathroom nonstop. But that Saturday, Sunday morning, put it this way, was
That
like
was the worst. So,
Saturday, I was already unwell. I barely was able to eat my dinner. I was like in and out of consciousness. But like, proceed what happened
yes,
on
I'd like
Sunday.
to please proceed.
Mm-hmm.
So that Sunday morning, again, like I was starting to say, Inga was in a very bad shock, and I called 911. We brought her to our local emergency room, and that's when I was informed about her suffering, sliding into the coma in the first place. Because when I first observed her, I wasn't sure what was wrong, which is what prompted me to call 911 and get her assistance. So after spending like pretty much like the whole afternoon into early evening at our local emergency room, Inga was transferred via ambulance to the only NYU hospital that we have in Brooklyn, in Sunset Park, Brooklyn to be exact, where Inga would stay for like a few days and nights to recover
Almost
from the
a week, because
coma.
I was discharged Thursday night.
So that's why I was saying just like like a few days and nights. But as Inga did point out, it was close to a week.
Because it started
That
with
Saturday or Sunday would have
because it
marked a
started
week.
with ICU on Sunday into like Tuesday,
Tuesday
because the whole
evening.
Sunday and Monday I was in the coma. I was in an altered state of mind. I had a hypovolemic shock. All my organs were shutting down. I had sepsis, and I had pneumonia. So to be here and surviving it is understatement. I could have died, I could have really died. And uh, if Chris didn't call 911,
God only
and
knows what could have happened.
to then proceed, you have to notify the whole family,
So,
that they. eh,
so pretty much, while Inga was being tended to in our local emergency room, I was on the phone between her father, my own father, my uncle on the side of my father, our daughter's caretaker at the time, telling everybody what was going on and what was the latest status, and then informed them when I knew that Inga was going to be transferred to NYU Hospital in Sunset Park. And so late that Sunday night, I ride the ambulance and the siren on all the way with the flashing lights. Excuse me. And so that was that. It took us only 10 minutes to get to the hospital, and Inga was put into ICU right away. And I left her because I had to go home and relieve our daughter's caretaker for the night. But the next day I was there bright and early, and my in-laws dropped in. As an Inga's parent, they dropped in to see Inga. And then Inga's father came back like late that evening by himself. I had already left to go home and get our daughter Rachel from the after-school van. And then I was with Inga every day visiting her. I spent like pretty much like the whole day, with the exception of Tuesday, where I only stayed a amount of time because my father-in-law came back again. Only this time he brought my sister-in-law. They left their jobs for the rest of the day and they came to see Inga. So I said to Inga, you know what? Spend some time with your father and sister. I'll see you the next day. And by that point, instead of going back to the ICU department, I went the next floor up, where Inga was staying in a regular room for the remainder of her stay at NYU. And that Thursday afternoon, Inga was told that she could leave as early as that Thursday night or by that Friday. And when Inga said to me, I want to go home, I said...
No, but before that, I was on insulin to bring down the sugar. Because, guys, when I tell you the number, some of you will jaw drop. When I was admitted, my sugar was 1,800.
That's also known as 1,800.
Yeah. And they will, right away, they started, doing insulin through the IV to bring down the sugar. My blood pressure was 40/50. And
which is very risky, to say the least. So, okay. So proceeding, I was like also in a shock. I was also like in shock when I heard 1,800 as in 1800. Okay, one of the nurses working the night shift of ICU on the first night that Inga was in ICU, he even like found it hard to believe.
And all the doctor could say that, when Chris called him,
As a neurologist,
he didn't even know. He's like, oh, you need to call 911, probably the sugar. And then he said like he, didn't know that I was diabetic. How the fuck you're not gonna know that I'm diabetic if it's in my freaking chart? You gotta be fucking kidding me, guys? When you go to doctors, and let's say your doctor is part of a hospital or a clinic, all the information is right there. So how the fuck you gonna tell I didn't know?
You gotta be a real stupid son of a bitch in plain English.
I mean,
to not know
he committed a medical malpractice. I could have died. I could have really died because they were ready when I was reading the notes to resuscitate if anything would have happened. And it's not, real much of a joke what happened.
And of course, we couldn't stress it enough. Inga almost should not be here today. Inga should be almost dead for about a little over a year and a half, going on 2 years next January.
Sorry, guys. I just like too much, like.
All right, so anyway, with no respect to Inga over here while she wipes away her tears, I will proceed telling you the rest. That in any event, here, when you're ready, I'll put you back on camera. But anyway, okay, so it was what it was. Just very painful to say the least. And to say that Inga, suffered pretty badly would be an understatement. But on the bright side, she did survive it.
Right, but right now I'm dealing with a major hypoglycemia instead of like high sugars. Lately, I'm dealing with low ones. But at least I'm here. I survived the idea, the horrible, So if you're diabetic, okay?
Or somebody is
diabetic. Please make sure that nobody will prescribe you a steroid.
They're very dangerous.
It's very dangerous, especially if you have diabetes. Please ask, please make sure. Because now I'm forced to, if I'm put on medication, I have to ask, is it a steroid? To make sure that I'm not going to be ending up in an NYU, a hospital. Because I'm part of NYU. All my doctors are there.
And so is our daughter.
And if it were, because I love NYU, the doctors are so wonderful and so attentive. And, please be careful. If you're diabetic, just check your sugars, keep your diet, because that's serious. It's not a joke. And, battling also on top of that is a rare form of autoimmune disease. It's not like easy, making it easy, because some days it's a lot of pain. And I can't use my hands. I could barely walk. But I manage, like to walk a bit, and I'll be able to, like, if anybody wants to meet up in the city, I'll be able, like, to camp it there and walk a little bit to the restaurant. So that's not going to be an issue for me, like, to take a Uber or Lyft to get there. Because, thanks God, I was able to get SSI for my, illness. Because, I had to go, they didn't approve me. I had to go through to a hearing, and things got to a judge who ruled in my favor. I'm able to collect, But I'm want to be as honest as I can to let you know what I've been through and what I'm dealing through. And those of you who are dealing through something, I understand. I know how it feels like when you're in a lot of pain. I know what it feels like to suffer. I know how it feels like to see your loved ones suffer. It's not easy. And the most important is like to take care of yourself, because nobody is going to be there to take care of you if you don't take care of yourself first. So please, be careful, be safe, and
in conclusion, if you're not sure about a certain medicine, contact your doctor to see if it's safe for you to take. And if you don't feel safe, then you need to request another appointment or seek a second opinion and another doctor. And
because guys, I didn't know it was a steroid, because the way the doctor sounded. Have you heard? I'm like, I got suspicious. Why is he mumbling? I didn't know he's gonna put me in a steroid. And when after I got out of the coma, I was talking to my dad, and I said I didn't know it was a steroid. He goes like, and you're not to blame, because we as patients follow doctor's orders. And I agree with my dad when we had that conversation. So we follow doctor's orders. We trust ourselves into the doctors. Only to find out they just, like, some of them, don't give a fuck about you. They like want to do something to like basically send you in another land.
Right. So to wrap up on a positive note, just be safe out there. And again, if you're not sure of something, okay, question your doctor right away. And if you don't like what he or she has to say, well then, you know, you may have to take your business elsewhere, even if it means seeking a second and possible third opinion until you're satisfied. So, be safe, be
Be
healthy,
well, be healthy.
and take good care of yourself and many others.
And remember, that if you in doubt, check it out. You know what I'm saying? Because if you like you have side effects from any medications, don't wait too long. Call your doctor and let them know, that hey, I'm experiencing certain side effects. What is that? Because what I went through, I don't wish on my worst enemy. I really don't. I never had sugars like that. The highest that I had, being diabetic before I went on a healthy lifestyle and dieting, and losing weight, uh, was into hundreds. You know, and no year was ever at 1800 sugar. And was my weight was 237. Now I'm down to like 170 to 169. I'm still on a weight loss journey. I'm still trying, to lose all this weight. But like, as you know, weight loss is also a journey. And, you have to like make sure you eat healthy. Make sure, you take care of yourself. Okay? Be safe. Be well. I love you.
We love you. And
Bye.
we'll be in touch.